Give me a sec. Alright, part 6. And Treasure Island is a big, heavy handed book that deserves 2 parts, and Peter Pan may too. But we went through the lore in part 5. And the formula at the beginning of what Long John Silver was. He's the teacher. Our main character is the student, and then we have the class, which is all the good guys. And like I've been saying kind of a lot, is that the main character really outshines from the main cast. And you can't help but go, this kid's kind of a little of an OP character, overpowered. He's beating up, not like physically beating up, but he's through wits and such. He's outmatching the Long John Silver's crew. He's beating them up, and through tricks and trickery, and everyone else is like, wait, you did this without us? Dang, kid, you're... Okay, I admit you're kind of annoying, but you got us beat. Dang, kid, wow, he beats them constantly. He beats his own friends out through wit, and you see, like, the captain and all these other guys kind of useless, almost. But on the island, that hermit that Captain Flint kicked off and just left marooned there, he's the guy that ruined the formula. Because, again, Long John Silver is this teacher, this gray matter of an anti-hero, villain type character, and our main character's right here. And after the second mutiny happens, and Long John keeps at bay with everyone and manipulated the situation so that no matter what, he will be on the... whatever side he goes for, he has the advantage that no matter what, in the end, he's gonna get treasure. And things changed, because with the hermit, he had no map. He couldn't read, but yet he was able to just be marooned on this island for like years, and he just goes, finds the treasure, and removes it. And when that happens, and when everyone realizes there's no treasure, and Long John's there with his crew, it's suddenly anarchy. And Long John goes from this anti-hero to realizing it's me and the kid together. If not, we're messed up. Dang it, kid. And suddenly, this teacher-student relationship that Long John and the main character have kind of match together as a class. And the class kind of usurps, becomes in teacher mode, because the good guys found the hermit. And with the hermit and them, and suddenly everything is now on their side, their advantage, they manipulate the situation for Long John to lose. Long John is suddenly demoted, not just by people who outrank him, but in the story. And how that he's, in the end, just put down low like everyone else. And he has no choice, because he's in it for himself, and one thing he has to be in it for is to live. And he does it. And through that, he was able to succeed. He kills some of his men and then gets the boy and leaves, and they find the treasure, put the treasure on the ship, and the boy and the rest of the men are just stranded there that are going to die. So all the good guys go out and they leave, and they looks like they're going to live happily ever after. Then Long John steals some gold, leaves the ship, and ends up surviving. He's still out there somewhere. And that's kind of like the book. I didn't want to talk about the fact that this was the whole book and this was the whole review, but that formula I talked about. He was teacher. The boy was the student. The boy learned from the villain. The villain was this teacher. And that once they go on the island and the hermit comes, the formula shifted itself. The class became teacher. The teacher became more of the student, and the student demoted, became more a part of the class. And yet everyone won in the end, Long John and the heroes. But Long John manipulated the whole situation that to the point he still wins. This is a book where the villain wins. This is a book where a man that manipulated people who were supposed to be for the good guys on his side. This is a book about a man who his own men try to usurp him. He took advantage of them and put himself in power. This is a book about a man that was able to show you that you have to compromise. This is a book about a man who is the one that acknowledges he has a weakness. He can't read. He needs a ship. So he went, all right, I'll go on this ship. I'll put most of my men on this crew. And his weakness was that he can't find the island. No one could. But if he can get himself on that ship and go there, he was able to take control. This book is... Treasure Island is about Long John Silver and how we all grow up and learn that there's bad guys and good guys, and that what that person did was wrong, what that person did was right. That's who you want to aim to be. This is what you don't want to be. And then there's people like Long John Silver. People that are manipulative, people that are capable of good, but choose it not to be evil, but choose themselves over others. We see it a lot, and you can't help but go, why? What can you tell about a children about this person? You have to introduce these kind of people to children, and how children can't have to absorb it and go, sometimes they're just selfish people that can be good, but also can be bad. People that will do this to you, and people that are there. And Long John Silver is really that symbolism in this book. That this man is this gray area of selfishness. He goes good and he goes bad. He'll go either way, but if it's for him. And with Treasure Island, I think that is kind of the theme. That is the message that a child will read. But it's going to be way more than one read. It's going to be way more than one chance, because Treasure Island is a book that has to be reread. Treasure Island, it has to be a book where you read at different stages of your life just to understand this Long John Silver character. It is his book. He is the main lead. He is the show stealer. But yet he is the person that we have to learn from to teach kids about people like him. And you can't help but go, this is a subject that very little kids need to learn, but yet how can you do it justly? And it's through this. I think that is why Long John Silver is so recognizable, why he is so memorable from Treasure Island. And that strange relationship he has with everyone around him, from his crew to the main character to the good guys. And he puts our main character in this gray area that sometimes there's compromise, that sometimes when you put yourself into someone else's power, like I can't read, I need to go on this ship. In order to find this treasure, I have to admit I have my flaws. But I can use someone else. He used someone else to get his results. When the boy realized he needed somewhere to go to be safe, and he knew what he did kind of would look bad for the good guys, and the captain of the ship, he realized he had to go to Long John Silver, because he knew Long John Silver would be somewhat of a safe place, because he remembers that teacher-student relationship. Though Long John Silver is this villain, there is still a certain form of safety there. You have to know these anti-heroes. You have to know this gray area. Because if you don't master this gray area, or people that are like that, it could bite you in the end, or hurt you in the end. You have to know them. And that, our main character got to learn, got to grow and adjust to Long John Silver. And I think kids will learn a lot from this book, from that. And why adults, when we read it, we kind of have to recognize Long John Silver is that sometimes We deal with those kind of characters. We deal with those kind of people in jobs, in politics, or in whatever, that we have to learn compromise, but yet we have to know them. We have to get to learn. We have to learn and grow and adjust to these people, but know the fact that you have to understand when can you be safe with them and when you have to fear them, these gray people. Yes, I know that this guy's kind of a jerk, but I know if I do this with him, he will defend me here. But I better not talk about this, or else he's the guy that's gonna stab me in the end. That's why Long John Silver, and that's what these books will help teach adults. I mean, this is why Treasure Island is so famous. This is why Treasure Island is so done over time and time and time again. I mean, I know Disney has done 2 movies, one in the 60s, I think, and one called Treasure Planet in the early 2000s. And that HBO did, or is it Stars? So yeah, it was the Stars that did this Black Sails TV show about pirates. And they couldn't do it without the fact that in the end, the last season, they had to put Long John Silver in to add a little bit more menace. Because that is this legacy. That is what not only people will learn, but also this presence that this book has. That you can't talk pirates, or you can't talk about certain things without mentioning that name. That man we know as Long John Silver. And in Peter Pan, which will be the next review part of this, why these things are immortal, why are these classics so big, why Long John Silver's name, Barbecue, his pirate name, which I can't help but kind of like, because I like barbecue, and also it kind of shows off that there's this weight to Peter Pan. That the book author, J.M. Barrie, when he was writing Peter Pan, he knew he had to add weight to Captain Hook. And the best way to show that weight was to show that Captain Hook had a connection with barbecue, with Long John Silver. But he never mentioned Long John Silver's name. He only mentioned his pirate name, Long John Silver. And I think why he did that, again, was to give Captain Hook weight, to give that Captain Hook's threat, that barbecue, the cook, Long John Silver feared Captain Hook. This relationship Peter Pan and Treasure Island have, not that many people will probably recognize or even realize. Because with knowing this gray area, this gray man that is Long John Silver, and how he has this connection with James Hook, what could this mean? What can this entail? But I think it goes on the lines of Captain Hook is also kind of a gray man, but more black gray than gray that is Long John Silver. That Captain Hook has more of this better depth. And Treasure Island, people, it has presence, and its main character, its main lead, it's not its main lead, but its main person, Long John Silver, is the heart and soul of all of it. And I need another drink. This was heavy. But it kind of goes off of why these books are so timeless. Sometimes a character is what holds the weight of the book, or the book is trying to teach us through this character why we need this book.